All right, so in this lesson we're going to start Unit 2. So in this lesson we're going to talk about personal finance and basically the math behind calculating bills. So you pay bills monthly, but you usually get paid weekly or every 2 weeks. So it makes it helpful to figure out how much you're getting charged each week and converting a monthly bill to your weekly cost. So you kind of have a better idea what to save, because then that helps us with budgeting, which we're going to cover later on in this class. So you're going to know how to accurately calculate the weekly cost of bills. And really it's a lot of division, multiplication. You just need to know some basic concepts. So getting into it, finding out the number of days in a billing cycle, it's first of all understanding how many days there are in a week, 7 days in a week, and how many weeks are in a month. Now, the thing about that is that value changes month to month. We know that not every month has the same amount of days, not every month has the same amount of weeks. So when we're looking at this, we have to think about, usually, on average, there are about 4 weeks in a month. But that's not always true. Depends on the month. Because actually, if that was the case, there would be 48 weeks in a year, when in reality there are 52 weeks in a year, if we do the math out. So that's the main thing to remember. 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, usually 4 weeks in a month, but not always. So this kind of talks about that, is that if we do 4 times 12, we get 48. It's 52 weeks in a year. So kind of explaining what goes wrong, or what went wrong there. There are not 4 weeks in a month. It's usually about 4.5 weeks a month. Not every month ends perfectly, at the end of 4 weeks. So you will be doing the math a little bit off, and you'll be thinking you're paying too much if you calculate it based on 4 weeks a month. So if you're going to do your math for your monthly rent, you multiply it by 12 to get your annual rent. So you do 400. If it was 400 a month, you'd do 400 times 12. That'd be 4,800. And then you divide it by 52 weeks in the year to get the correct weekly rent. You would not divide it by 48. And you would round that obviously to the nearest cent, so $92.31. So when we're talking about this, it's that calculation, knowing when to multiply, when to divide. So to get your weekly amount, you multiply the monthly amount by 12, divide that yearly amount by 52 to get the weekly amount. We'll get some practice doing that. So the difference in that, if we did 48 weeks in a year, would be about $7.69 per week. And you could be, if you go by week, if you have 10 bills to calculate wrong, you could be wasting up to $77 a month. So that depends, and that's not really going to be your difference between failing and passing. All right? We're going to talk about that and how to manage things, but just doing the math correctly is important because it'll save you money. So the real weekly payment for these bills is what we're going to find out. So essentially all you do to find the weekly payment for a monthly bill So just a real quick check of your understanding, just remembering that magic number of 52 weeks in a year. The equation to get your weekly bill, you take your monthly bill times 12 to get the yearly cost, divide the yearly cost by 52 weeks in a year, and that's how you find your weekly cost. So then putting it into practice, a monthly utility bill of $53.25 would cost you $12.29 per week. So it's just breaking that down into a weekly cost. So now go ahead. Next part of this lesson is going to be you practicing both calculating the weekly cost of something and then your cost per room weekly for something. And that practice will be in classroom, and the quiz for this will be a Google form in classroom that will just check your understanding of this.